Hi, I'm Laura from Nashville Wraps, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a bow. There's different bows to make, and as you can see on this one, I've made a bow for a wreath. I love making multiple tails. This gives the bow a much fuller look on whether it's on a wreath or on a basket or on a box. So today, first of all, I'm going to take and I'm going to cut my ribbon, and I'm going to start out with 2, because once I start my bow, then you'll have your third one. Okay, I have my 2 tails already cut, and I'm going to take about in the middle of these, and I'm going to squeeze it together between my thumb and my index finger. This is so that you can always have a good grip on your ribbon. As you see, I have already pulled out a lot of my ribbon. I do this because a lot of times ribbon will tend to twist if you don't pull it off like this, and this will give you a chance to kind of let it unloop. So what I'm going to do is make my third tail here, and again I squeeze. On a bow, you always squeeze it and twist. If you get into the habit of twisting your ribbon as you go and make the bows, if you have a print, it will always be on the top side. Otherwise, you'll have a problem with it being on the underside. Today we don't have that problem, but it's a good habit to get into. Again, I'm going to twist and make my second loop. Now these 2 loops will determine the width of my bow on this. So my bow is going to be this big. Always keep in mind on your ribbons, the wider the ribbon or wider the bow, the wider the ribbon should be. If you use too narrow of a ribbon on a wide bow, you're going to get floppy loops and it's not going to be very pretty. So now I'm going to start making my bow, always twisting and looping. And as you can see on these 2 loops, they're just a little bit smaller than my last one. And I'm going to constantly go in just a little bit shorter each bow. We're going to make our last 2 loops. Again, twisting and making them just a little bit smaller than the last ones. So there's our full bow, and as you can see I have 5 loops on each side. My last part of my bow, again I still want to twist, but I'm going to make a little loop here in the middle. Just like that. And then we're going to cut our ribbon. Now if you've noticed, I never cut my ribbon off of my bolt until I just now finished. That's because it depends on how many loops you make, how big the bow is. A lot of people call and they ask, how many yards do I need to make a bow? Well, it's hard to determine because it depends on how many loops you make, how big the bow is, and how full you want it. So I like to leave my ribbon on the bolt until the very end, and then I can cut it as I just did. Now again, back to the little loop. This is kind of a hiding place for my wire or my tape. Anything that I'm going to use to tie the bow together. I like to use a 20 gauge wrapped wire. You can get these at any local hobby stores, but you can also use a twist tie, or you can use even like a little piece of scrap ribbon. Any of this will be hid under this loop, which makes it nice. I'm going to take my wrapped wire and I'm going to run it underneath in that loop, just like this. I'll take the wire and bring it around all of my bow, and then we're going to take and pull and twist. So you're going to twist that wire tight. That's going to hold your bow. Now that you have that secured, your bow looks like this. Not very pretty. So what you want to do is just take your loops and pull them all around to make it nice and full. Here's your finished bow. It can be used on a wreath, on boxes, on box lids, on a gift wrap. Anything like that always adds and dresses up whatever you're using.